okay? That doesn't affect, what I'm going to do today, how I'm going to try to take on the system of tyranny, how I'm trying to empower those around me with information that can literally save our lives. I'm not ninnying about my favorite sports team. I'm not concerned about, the latest movie. I didn't go see Avatar this weekend. A lot of people were like, Jason, let's go see Avatar's coming out. I'll wait. All right. I want to see it, but I'm not frothing at the bit to go see it. I would actually rather go see something like The Men Who Stare at Goats, the picture based on John Ronson's book, which really gets into some of the United States mind control programs. I was a big fan of the documentaries he did, especially Crazy Rulers of the World, which that is based on. Before I go back to your calls, I wanted to hit a little tech blitz. Boeing's Dreamliner takes flight at last. 787 has begun its test. And why am I talking about this? Because this is an enormous plane. It's an enormous business deal for Boeing. And this plane is able to go from New York to Hong Kong without stopping. Okay, so it can hold a vast amount of fuel and a vast amount of people. They're saying up to 330 passengers. So this could really revolutionize the way people fly both internationally and cross-country. I thought I'd hit that one up, and I'll save that one for a moment. But this one right here, anti-aging pill developed that cuts wrinkles and makes skin look younger. Again, people like Kurzweil have talked about this for years. And there are some really stunning anti-aging tests and papers out there that have de-aged mice, that have de-aged smaller mammalian organisms out there. So it's not out of the realm of possibility. It's not kookery. It's actual science. Look into it. This one's out of The Telegraph, by the way. A one-day pill the size of a Smartie that claims to be able to give younger-looking skin and fewer wrinkles is being hailed as the latest weapon against aging. Hey, if it works, I'll get on that stuff. I'd love to look like I'm, 35 when I'm 72. It sounds good to me. That's the way Jason Bermas would like to roll. There's nothing wrong with wanting to live a long and healthy life. I hope I live to 200 years old. I want to live. I love life. I love humanity. I love the world around me. There is so much to do, so much to experience, so much to bask in on this great planet Earth. And we really do take that for granted almost every single day, even just walking through the park, even walking through my backyard with my dogs, man. I'm a lucky guy. I'm a pretty free human being. I live in my own place. I've got my own plot of land. No one's telling me what to do or how to live out there, but they want to. And I see that. And I fight against it every day. All right, let's continue with the callers. We got a big lineup here. Let's go to Matt in California. Matt, you're on the line.
Hi, Jason.
Hey.
Let them know, man. You're doing a great job.
Oh, thank you.
Hey, I'm up here in rainy Northern California, and there's a local newspaper here called the Bohemian. Now, before people's antenna go up, it's just like anybody's local newspaper, like Good Times down in Santa Cruz. It's just a local newspaper. At lunch the other day, I was reading an article in there about a guy, a local man, a small business owner. He had $16,000 credit card debt, and for 5 years he paid everything on time, and he missed 4 days of payments. He was 4 days late. And he pays them, and it goes through the roof. I think it was 399 to 32.6%.
Oh my God!
This is with one of the major credit card companies. Now, what he's doing, and I think it's just absolutely genius, and the article said there was a couple of attorneys that quoted in there too. And he's citing the fact that since the bailouts, the United States government, according to the Eighth Amendment, cannot impose excessive fines on individuals. Now that we became part ownerships of this particular credit card company as taxpayers, he's fighting it under that clause.
So he's trying to use the bailout.
He's representing himself. And
he's trying to use. He's trying to use the bailout, as dire a situation as that is, to his advantage, saying that the people now really do own the banks.
The government owning at least about 50% can't impose excessive fines according to the Eighth Amendment. And he's called them and went through all the correct channels. And they will not lower the rates, and it's gone through the roof, and they've since turned it over. And he wants to make it right, but he can't. He can't find it justifiable. And the only reason he is doing this, and he's got plenty of money to pay it, according to the article, is that he's doing it because he's fighting for people out there because he's sick of.
He's fighting for the little guy, and he's sick of us being taken advantage of.
Blown away by the article.
Send us that article, man. If you've got a headline, give it out on the air, and we'll look for it right now. Maybe we'll do an InfoWars story about it. What's the headline?
I thought it was ingenious.
What's the headline?
I don't remember. It's in this month's issue of the Bohemian, which is a local. I'm in Sebastopol up here.
All right, Matt, I'll check it out. I love the call. Thank you so much, my man. Let's go to George in Illinois. George, you're on the line.
Hey, Jason, I got two real quick questions. With this trial of Khalid Sheikh Mohammed coming up, do you think we'll get anything new about 9/11 coming up?
Absolutely going to get some new stuff. That's why I'm all for this trial being in New York City. Look, you look at even the quote-unquote 20th hijacker trial, even though it's pretty much come out that Zacarias Moussaoui was in no way the 20th hijacker. They've come up with two other names that were supposedly the 20th hijacker. But during the trial, first of all, he had a trial most people don't know about that was thrown out of court. The judge was just like, look, there's no evidence here. So then they retried him. And in that retrial, it came out on the news, and you can just type this into YouTube. In fact, we may type it into YouTube. You type in stun belt 9/11 Moussaoui or whatever. And it came out that during the trial, they put a stun belt on Moussaoui so that he could not say what he wanted to. And if he said anything out of line, they'd simply shock him and stop him from speaking. So yes, I absolutely believe there will be more stuff coming out about 9/11. There'll be a ton more disinformation, but through the buffet of lies, we will find a little more truth. What else you got for me, George?
And what kind of role do you think the Pentagon is going to play in the world government? Because I don't know if you guys have covered this, but the Air Force just attacked Yemen about 2 days ago, and I really think that the Pentagon's far more powerful than, say, like the United Nations.
Ooh, all right. Well, here's the deal. The United Nations doesn't really have any power in and of itself. Now, the Pentagon, however, has such a system of black operations and covert programs that intertwine with the quote-unquote continuity of government program, which is really the shadow government in this country. Now, as far as government networks go, yes, the Pentagon is extremely powerful. Without the Pentagon, 9/11 could have never happened. Of course, you had to coordinate the drills on 9/11 to, basically mimic the attacks as they happened, to confuse people that were good on the inside of the government that were taking part in this. Number two, if you look at this, not only did they need the drills, but they needed to be able to cover it up after the fact. And the Pentagon definitely has people within the media centers. In 2000, it was reported by CNN that in their base office in Atlanta, Georgia, they had found 2 CIA members, but then they said they were just interns. So in that respect, oh my God, is the Pentagon so much more powerful. But in the respect that the United Nations is this world body that is really controlled by international banksters and corporate criminals, they have much more power, because a thing like 9/11 can't be funded and set up and backed without, say, someone on the inside like a Rockefeller or a Rothschild. You need the bigger names to really coordinate the efforts. And if you look at the players in 9/11 that could probably be prosecuted for your crimes on that morning, particularly Dick Cheney and people like Paul Wolfowitz and Donald Rumsfeld, what school do they come from? They come from this Rockefeller school that is based on globalism. And if you read Rockefeller's own memoirs, he admits in it that he and his family are part of a cabal that are trying to establish a global government system. Check out the quote yourself. So in that respect, I'd say they're a little bit more powerful. I really hope that I'm able to bring into focus the whole New World Order global government scheme through the organizations they use, such as the Council on Foreign Relations and the Trilateral Commission and the Bilderberg Group and the Bohemian Club and Skull and Bones and this type of thing, intertwined with the continuity of government program, the Iran-Contra scandal. All these things get covered in my latest film. By the way, we are pushing back the release date. No surprises here. I just want people to know it will be released now on March 15th. That's March 15th. 2010. We had to push it back just 1 month to really hone in on the graphic and pace elements of the film. I thank you for the call. Let's go to Tom in Connecticut. Tom, you're on line.
Hey, Jason, how you doing?
Good, man.
Listen, I'm the first-time caller, and I've been looking at what you guys are doing, you and Alex, and I'm wondering, what do you? I want to find the most important information out there as to the global government issues, and what would you say you turn to as a resource most often?
That's a good question. Now, for me, since I do documentary films, a lot of my base research is simply from their own meetings and documents. Let me give you an example. When I'm pulling up news clips for my films, I'll go to the Vanderbilt Television Archive, and I will Google a term like global governance or one world order or new world order, and I will find different news clips related to that. If I go to the C-SPAN archive, and that dates back to the late 80s, early 90s with some consistency, I'll do the same thing. So I'll come up with, when I did the New World Order one, I must have found maybe 300 or 400 different clips where people at least discuss the term. So then I'll go in, I'll see where they discuss the term. I'll probably purchase the DVD. The DVD will come in, and then I'll watch the entire thing. People like Noam Chomsky, for example, in the early 90s were giving lectures called The New World Order. I purchased that one. So there's a lot of that kind of base material, and then there's so much more.